Hello folks, welcome again to Outdoors with Bud. I'm your host, Bud Fields. Well, Mother Nature kind of threw a monkey wrench into our original plans. We're shooting live on location out here at the Kokomo Izaak Walton League, and we was planning on going out and getting some pictures of people shooting their guns and doing some trap shooting and everything. But with the weather the way it is, and as you might know if you're anything to do with the cameras, that moisture and cameras just don't work too well together. Plus, some of us old timers here is getting a little long in the tooth. Well, we can catch colds and pneumonias pretty easily. So we're shooting inside the clubhouse. And when we're done here, we're going to kind of scan around this clubhouse because if you have any events coming up in the near future, you might want to consider contacting the Izaak Walton about maybe using the facility here. It's fantastic. As a matter of fact, back in 1974, in this very same building, I become a certified Indiana hunter safety education instructor in this very building, and it kind of brings back memories. And my guest today is Brian Lentz. Brian, pleasure to meet you again, my friend.
Good to see you, Bud.
I wrote an article here not too awfully long ago, a month and a half ago, about the Izaak Walton, and I asked him about permission to come out here and shoot a video and have it on my podcast. But I've done a little bit of research, and for the people that's not familiar with the name of Izaak Walton, I got a cheat sheet here. Izaak Walton was a very well-known English author and biographer, best known as the author of The Complete Angler, which many of the modern-day fishing fans has in their collection. As a matter of fact, I've got this very same book, and I still enjoy reading it. And Izaak Walton had a great love for outdoors hunting and fishing and wildlife conservation, and it was in his honor and his memory that the Izaak Walton League of America was formed, and if I remember right, I think that was back in the early 1920s. Well, Brian, I'd like to get some information about the Izaak Walton here in Kokomo. I know back in the early 60s, 64, 65, I was a member out here, and we used to come out here and we shot trap, we shot skeet, and at that time they had an archery facility, and we shot a couple videos out here then. If you would kind of give us a little bit of information about, do you remember when the Izaak Walton League of Kokomo was founded?
February of 1924.
No, that's 20 years before I was born. And we're both still around.
Like I said, the Izaak Walton League of America was founded in 1922, and then they founded here in the Howard County chapter, February of 24.
Okay, now what are some of the events that you guys have out here to offer the people? You know,
the public is we have sporting clays, 5 stand included with sporting clays. We have trap and skeet. There is an archery field back there, but that's a members only. Members have rifle and pistol up to 100 yard. You got to be a member to use that, or you can come with a member as a guest for $10 fee. And that's an honorary thing. You'd leave the money in the office over there across the lawn.
Well, this is a great facility. I mean, I haven't been out here as much as what I used to back in the early 60s. I used to come out here with my father-in-law and 2 other gentlemen from the Cassville area, and it seemed to me like it was on a Friday evening or Saturdays we would shoot trap and we'd come out and shoot skeet. And of course, like I say, I used to come out here quite a bit, and at one time through the Galveston Archery Club, I participated in the state tournament, and we went as the archers of the Izaak Walton League out of Kokomo here, and we done fairly well, and we had a lot of fun. And just like the clubhouse here now, if people's got any weddings or banquets or anything like that, can the public rent this facility?
Yes, the best way to handle that, Bud, is go to our website, which is the HCIWLA.org, and there's a banner, and it'll explain there's a form to fill out. It goes over costs, and we've got it booked for 3 upcoming events now.
Well, you was telling me before, and I don't have that information on my cheat sheet here, but there's some of the school organizations participate.
We have in September every year, We have Eastern Middle School comes out here. We call it Eastern DNR Days. And they come out here to fulfill their hunter ed requirements.
Just in case you're not familiar with hunter safety education, this came out, I think it was in 1974, but anybody that was born after December 31st of 1986, they had to complete the hunter safety education program to actually obtain a license. And a lot of men come out here. Maybe they're going to go hunting for the first time, and they want to get involved in hunting and fishing and stuff like that. And organizations such as this, as it is, I mean, there's a plethora, a great amount of information and knowledge, like in this building. That if you want to get interested in doing anything like this, there's a lot of people out here are willing to go out of their way to help you out. I know when we first came out here shooting trap, I didn't even have a shotgun, but there was a guy out there. He kind of took me under his wing and he said, "Hey, come over here and let me help you." Well, I shot guns before, but I didn't really know the ins and outs about proper form and how to execute the shot. And these guys really took their time and went out of their way to help me become a better sportsman. And I was forever thankful about that. But it's really something. Archery has progressed, and we're getting more and more women and children, but in the last few years there's been a decline in the amount of youth involvement in outdoor activities. And with this information anymore, with all the electronic video games and everything, there's a lot of things that the kids are getting interested in that I think are probably far more detrimental to them kids than what hunting and fishing and outdoor activities are. But this is fantastic. And wasn't there something about we had mentioned before, like Northwestern High School
we have Northwestern High School uses a trap range, and Oak Hill uses our skeet range. They come out right now. Northwestern has started up. Oak Hill started using the skeet, but on the youth side of it, last Saturday we had 130 youth shooters out here.
Oh wow!
We call it the SCTP Mid-State Shoot. And we had a young man shoot a 95 out of 100. He was high. But they come from all over the state. Scholastic Clay's target program. And we sponsor a team. But it's really grown leaps and bounds. So they have their state down to Indiana Gun Club, Trap and Skeet and all, and then they have nationals over at the Cardinal Shooting Center over there just north of Columbus.
Let's see, was there a Grand National tournament in Ohio years ago? I don't know whether that's still going or
not. The Grand's still going. That's Trap.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know my father-in-law went over there one year, but
no, that's Illinois. Illinois, yeah.
I was thinking there was something like in Vandalia, Ohio, a big trap shoot or something like that.
There is that too.
Because there was people coming in that, oh my lands, you talk about shooting 100 bird, competition. If you couldn't hit at least 95 of them, you might as well pack it up and go back to the motel.
Yeah, that won't. You better be shooting 200 straights at trap nowadays.
Well, that's like an archery. I shot competitive archery for years, and I was never one of the top shooters. I mean, out of a perfect 300, I think I had a 295 once, and I finished second or third in the state tournament. My wife, she was pretty good, but she was shooting instinctive. But back then, if you were shooting in the high 280s to 290, you was top dog. But anymore, like out in Las Vegas and some of them big archery tournaments, if you can't shoot a 300 out of 300, and inside of that 3-inch bullseye, there's like an inch or inch and a half circle, that's a spot, they call it, or a 10 ring. If you can't shoot a 300 with 59 spots out of 60, wow, you're out of it, but that's beside the point. But man, I tell you, outdoor activities to me is very important. I mean, that's why I'm doing a lot of these shows, trying to get information out to people. And there's always hunter safety programs going on, and they've got like an apprentice license that if you don't know whether the kid's going to actually be interested in it, I think you could that kid can apply 2 times as an apprentice.
Is it 2 or 3? I thought
It's either 2 or 3. I don't have that information right in front of me, but you know, before you go out and invest a lot of money to buy your kid a gun or a bow, and then them not like it, then you're going to have to absorb a huge loss. But getting them involved in programs like this, this is, to me, very, very important. When that hunter safety education program started, we were allowed to go into schools and teach the kids. We took the firearms in there, we took bows in there. Now, the guns was not loaded, you know, but we could take them in there and show the kids how to use them. And anymore, you cannot do that. You cannot take firearms into schools. And I know when I was in high school, I would drive my dad's truck in the class or into the parking lot. I'd have a shotgun and maybe a rifle in the gun rack. Nobody bothered me.
That's right.
I mean, and even I tell everybody today, it's not a gun problem. It is. It's right here.
It is.
It's in your head. It's ethics. But programs like what the Izaak Walton offers you here is something that's going to last you through your life. And would you like to mention anything about the memberships?
Well, I was going to interject a little bit on the youth. We make it very, very affordable for the youth to come out here and shoot. Like if you're it's $3 a round for youth at trap and skeet. Mm-hmm. It's $20 for a round of sporting clays. Mm-hmm. So we know how tough it is.
Oh, sure.
I mean, it's an expensive hobby, no matter what. So we try to help the kids out.
Sure.
Memberships, we have different membership levels. We have family and we have individuals. For a family, I had to write this down, bud.
That's all right.
For a family, a new member is $218. And what that includes is you get a gate pass when you become a member, so you can use the rifle and pistol range. It includes you, your spouse, and your kids that are 18, you know, if they're still in school, living at home. Mm-hmm. Then you have a single, which is $162. Now, that's just for you, okay? Like if you wanted, and you say, I'm going to leave the wife at home. And we also have student memberships. That's for any student that it's a full-time student. It's $62.
Great.
Renewals after you become a member, and then every year you renew. It's $203 for a family, $147 for a single, and then $47 for a student. Mm-hmm. So, and we have some student members.
That's great.
You know, and then it doesn't affect your cost on the sporting clays, any of the shooting, because it's so cheap. We're just breaking even basically on those costs. We're just paying for targets. So we're very, we're supportive, like say, of the youth. Mm-hmm. Very supportive.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, I've always said that what we're enjoying today, the future is in these kids. And
well, what's going to happen when we're gone?
Right. Mm-hmm.
I mean, just like the people that shoot here a lot on the rifle, not so much rifle and pistol, but the shotgunning sports, we're aging out.
Right. Well, that's like that country song, who's going to fill their shoes? You know? That's just like a friend of mine that I just done an interview with him. That kid's fishing clinic, after 40 years, it had come to an end.
I saw that.
Well, this guy and some of his friends are going to revitalize that. It's going to be, the name's going to be changed, but the philosophy behind it about getting kids involved in fishing is going to continue. And matter of fact, this guy that's doing it, Josh Trine, a good friend of mine, actually he was one of my students when I was helping, and I was his boat captain at their graduation tournament. And now this kid's about 6 or 8 inches taller than me and about twice my size, real deep voice. And
I was a boat captain one time, and it was very enjoyable.
Oh man, it's fun, but that's it. Youth is where it is, and we don't want to discourage anybody like that and scare them away. But when I first come out here shooting trap, I had a very huge inferiority complex.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'd watched it being done. I had never tried it, and I thought, it don't look too hard, but it was, but I didn't know what I was doing until some of these guys taught me the proper way to hold that gun, the proper way to lead that bird. And it was so much fun. And then I got involved in watching my father-in-law reload his own shotgun shells. And next thing you know, well, at that time you could buy components out here.
Yeah, we still
off of Lee Simpson, the late Lee Simpson. And it got to be, if we won any money, we was coming right up there and replenishing our supply. But
when we have that Eastern DNR days, and we'll set the trap up on the skeet range,
mm-hmm.
and we'll have, I mean, it depends on the size of the classes, usually about 150 kids coming
mm-hmm.
through. When they hit their first clay pigeon,
mm-hmm.
they just get so excited. And then they can't get enough. So after they're done with their routine, their round going through, if they want to come up and shoot extras, come on up. And then you get the parents involved. They want to shoot it too.
One thing I remember, there was a gentleman out here, an older fella, and he was continually walking around. A lot of the guys would after they shot, they'd just leave their shell casing down there.
Uh-huh.
He was going around, he's picking all them up. Well, some of them were pretty bad shape, but he didn't care. Well, then he was always going out there, and God rest the man, so I can't remember his name, but he would get up there and maybe he would forget to remove the primer, and it's not going to do nothing. But he bought a new over and under shotgun, beautiful shotgun, and he'd been talking to everybody for months that I can't wait to get this in. He ordered this gun. They set the man up. I don't know how they done it, but somebody made some clay pigeons that were not made out of clay. They painted them, and when that guy got up there, you could hear the shot hitting this. He was hitting it, but it wasn't exploding, like you'd see a clay pigeon. And he got to cussing that gun out, and that one guy said, "I'll give you $50." And we're talking probably about a $1,200 gun at the time. That guy, he was ready to get rid of it, but then they had admitted to him what they had done. They set him up. Well, then he got a little red in the face, and everybody scattered like a covey of quail, But there's some good comedy and humor in shooting stuff. I mean, you're out there to have a good time, and if you're like me, you was never big enough to whip anybody, so you had to have a sense of humor. But Izaak Walton has always been. In my opinion, I would have to say that I think the Izaak Walton League of America is probably one of the oldest, most successful, and most contributing conservation organization around. I mean, everywhere you go, there's an Izaak Walton League, and that's phenomenal. And I just hope they keep multiplying. If you had one in every town, that would be fine with me.
There's several close. I mean, you got Logansport, you got one up at Miss Sinwall, Somerset, basically. Yeah,
I've been in several of those.
Yeah. But it's the shooting sports. I mean, that's what we mainly are.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the Izaak Walton League chapters don't even have shooting sports.
Right. Yeah.
And some of them are only archery. So but the Izaak Walton League, they're if you get the magazine, they're picking up more on the shooting sports than the youth end of it. Because they know the same way like us.
Well, I know they're getting, a lot of shooting sports now is getting involved in the Olympics, for instance.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a couple, the outdoor channels had shooting clays, and I think it needs all the exposure. But well, hey, I want to thank the Izaak Walton and Brian, and thank you for allowing us to come in here and shoot this podcast, and hopefully we can get some people out there that's interested and come out here and become members. And did you say before you had 500 members or so?
It's around. It varies some. Usually hovers around 500.
Right, that's phenomenal.
We don't turn anybody away as long as they're, not a felon. Can't be around guns if you have a felony record.
Right.
And as long as you're a citizen, because we run into the barriers of language.
Sure, certainly.
So you got to be safe around firearms.
Well, like I say, we really appreciate you letting us come out here and.
Well, we want you to come back and shoot with us.
Well, it's been a while since I've done that.
You come out and shoot around a sporting clays with us.
I think I could probably.
Sporting clays is like golf with a shotgun.
Well, I've never played golf. They said you had to have a caddy, and I got a Dodge truck.
That's all right.
Well, folks, hey, I want to thank you for letting us come into your homes today. And if you're interested in something like what the Izaak Walton has to offer you, hey, come out here and talk to Brian or some of the other members. And I think it would be a good event for the entire family, getting out and shooting as a family, because I've always said that the family that does things together stays together. So thanks, and God bless you, and we'll see you in the woods or on the water. Thanks, Brian. Pleasure, my friend.
Okay, bud.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.